there was heaps of response to my post yesterday about SOS feeding therapy. So I thought I would jump on and give everyone an update. So we went to the appointment yesterday. And to say it was a bit of a disaster would be an understatement. So we took Imogen along. My dad come along as well for support because we knew that may be an issue. And you know, she didn't cope at all. Yeah, it was really, you know, it was actually good in that the therapist got to see exactly what we're dealing with. But, you know, it did end up in a big meltdown and, oh, she's just emailed me. So I'm speaking to you. But I did then go back in and sit down with her while Dad stayed with Emmy, and she gave me some amazing tips. So please don't take this as, you know, this is what you should do, because she specialized it for Emmy. So if you're having issues with feeding, definitely go and seek your own like advice and therapist and stuff like that. But it really made sense to me because look, I've tried so many different things with nutrition, and to be quite honest with you, I feel like I almost put it in the too hard basket because we had tried it all. It's been 6 years of trying with nutrition, but you know what? We're at the end of our rope at the moment, like literally not coping with the way that Emmy's eating, and then the behavior issues that causes. So we thought we'd, you know, let's go back to it, try something new. Anyway, so I've got a whole sheet she's given me, like a summary to start with, which gives points around, you know, what we should be doing and then what Emmy gets to choose, right? Because really what she's doing at the moment is she can control what she eats, right? I can't force her to eat. So that's one thing that's in her sphere of control. So that's where a lot of these things come from. You know, and so we talked about Emmy's diet's very, very limited at the moment. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah, I just think the more information we can all have, the better, right? So Emmy's diet's very limited at the moment. Like literally, I was explaining yesterday, it's chicken nuggets, it's anything with sugar. Like she's addicted to sugar, like literally rifling through my pantry. She might have a Vegemite sandwich, but that exacerbates her sugar cravings and makes her really loopy. She's gone off all the fruit. She's never really eaten vegetables, let's be honest. You know, I did make homemade pizzas for her before with veggies in the sauce. She won't even eat that now. So I just put it all out on the table for this therapist. And she's given us some amazing tips. So I'm just going to share the ones that she gave us in case any of them resonate with you. So what I did say to her, though, is that Emmy is very independent. And if I don't give her what she wants, she will go and source it herself. So I would literally need to lock the pantry, if you know what I mean. So she's given us some visuals about when pantry is open and pantry is closed, and Emmy responds really well to visuals, so we talked about that. And when the pantry is open, she's told me to have a special box that's a snack box where Emmy can choose anything from that snack box. So I only put in there things I'm happy for her to have, right? And then basically we're only giving her 2 options for breakfast instead of going, do you want toast? Do you want Weet-Bix? Do you want rice bubbles? Do you want pancakes? Like, instead of doing that. So this morning we had visuals for her. I just created this. So I said, okay, you can have Weet-Bix or you can have Vegemite toast, and that's it. And the therapist said if she doesn't want those, that's fine, but there is no other alternative because she needs to learn to start choosing from those options, right? So actually this morning she didn't eat breakfast. She chose Weet-Bix. She made it and then she didn't eat it. So she's off to school today. And, you know, that's not unusual for her anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, she also said Emmy currently eats at the lounge, and I know that's not ideal, but that's where I can get her to eat something. So that's where she eats. And she said, look, ideally we'll get her at the table, but right now, what if you could just sit next to her? So you actually, you know, eating together. So that's what we tried last night. And she actually told us to have, instead of having Emmy's plate and my plate with food, put everything out buffet style. So I popped it on our little coffee table thing. And Emmy then got to choose what she wanted. So they say to have 2 or 3 or 4 different foods that she usually wouldn't have, and then 1 preferred food. So last night I made like vegetarian nachos, and so I had all the different bits and pieces for my nachos with the chips and the, you know, the beans and the cheese and stuff like that. And then I had Emmy's nuggets in a bowl, and she said, you don't serve them, you let the kids serve themselves. So Emmy got the tongs and she chose all the nuggets, as I knew she would. However, she served herself. She let me sit next to her. We didn't manage to get the TV to turn off or the iPad away, but that will be something that we work on. And I think she needs more visual support for that, right? But so what I'm doing is I'm keeping like a little... like a diary in my phone, so I can take that back and say, well, this is what we've tried, this is what worked, this is what didn't. And what actually happened yesterday was after she finished her nuggets and I'd finished dinner, I was starting to clean up, she started picking at the little chips that I had made for my nachos. So that was something different that she wouldn't usually have had, right? So I think it's so important. Whilst I could go, crap, she wouldn't let me turn the TV off, or she wouldn't give up the iPad, what about recognizing the things that she did do, right? And I think that's why like jotting it down and having a diary is really, really important. So what else did she say? Set snack and meal times and stick with them. So don't let them graze all day, because Emmy's a grazer like that. She also said to have clear containers for packaged foods, because often our kids get attached to the brand or the pack. So I went out yesterday and just bought some different containers to put like cereal and stuff in. And nuggets for the freezer, so I get different brands, and she said try and make things look different. So, you know, if she's gonna have nuggets, that's fine. She goes, I know it's not ideal, but it is protein. I'm like, I get it. I just wish she'd eat my homemade ones. But she said, you know, cut them in half one day that way, and then maybe that way the next day, and then quarters another day. Make them look different, basically, so they don't. It's almost like getting them to think they're eating something different when they're still eating the same thing, if you know what I mean. She said something to me, it was called food jagging, I think she called it, and it's really common with autistic kids, or kids with autism, and basically it is that they get sick of eating the same food, like we would, right? If we eat the same thing over and over, so we would stop eating it but then go back to it. But basically sometimes kids with autism, once they cut it out, they just like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. And then the scope of the food that they eat just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And I really feel like that's where we're at the moment. We're down to the, you know, super small amount of food that she will eat. So, what else did she say? That was about it. So that's what we're working on for the next 2 weeks. And this therapist was so great yesterday. Like, she could see how challenging things were with Emmy. She's going to write a report for me, because I got my NDIS planning meeting on the 14th of February. So she's going to write a report for that, and she's also going to put in there a recommendation for a psychologist and behavioural like support, because she saw how challenging things were with Emmy. So sometimes I think, you know, whilst it was really distressing and traumatic for all of us involved, the therapist seeing that was actually really helpful, because people don't know what happens behind closed doors. And if we can show them and get that support, you know, maybe that's going to be helpful for my NDIS meeting, even though Dad and I were like, oh my God, by the time we got home, we're very excited for school to go back today. I can't tell you how much. Okay, so let's talk about school, going back. I just saw one of my friends post, and her little fella goes to, you know, a local school, and basically I wanted to, I suppose, show the differences or different strategies that we can use, because our special needs kids often need more strategies, right? And if your school's not doing it, it might be that you need to prepare something before they go and get some pictures and stuff off school. So Emmy's school is called Giant Steps. It's amazing. It's a special autism school, and they are phenomenal. So I just want to show you. So this is one that I make for the morning. So this is Emmy's morning routine. So we, you know, we've got breakfast, bath, get dressed, do hair, shoes on, brush teeth, which she usually refuses. And then we've got like when she leaves, and I actually have a laminated one of this so I can put the time. Emmy responds really well to time, right? So that's the one that I made, but I wanted to show you what school sent, because it might be something that you guys can do who are having struggles. So they sent through this, so I'll get in the car and go to Giant Steps. Sorry, it's a bit bigger than mine. They've got a whole book for it. So basically it outlines the process of her getting out of the car and into the school, and who's going to be with her and exactly what it looks like. Because sometimes I think the kids are just really apprehensive because they don't know what's coming, right? So it's so important that we can make them feel comfortable. So walk to the classroom, right? So it's got a picture of the classroom, and the next one I think even has a circle with her desk on it to show her where she's going to sit. Or might be the last one. It's got a picture of their class only has 3, so they've got a picture of who's in the class and where they're going to be sitting. And then I think, yeah, it's got the teachers. They're really good with cutting and pasting. Yeah, aspect is great too. Yeah, it makes such a difference for getting them to start the year on a positive note. And then they've got, and then this is what they're going to do for the whole day. So their day looks like this, right? So what if, if your school doesn't do that, fine. Do you know what I mean? But what if you could prepare them a little bit? Or what if you could say they need something like this to support them? Like if you can have that in a IP or something like that, so your school knows exactly what your child needs, because sometimes they don't know. They don't know how your child learns best, right? So if you can broach that with them or give them some strategies that you think will be beneficial for them, I would suspect that most teachers would love that, because then they will have some strategies that they can use with your beautiful babies to make them feel comfortable and learn the best that they possibly can. So I know that was a bit of a long video, but I just wanted to share with you guys about our SOS stuff and how our school drop-off went today, well, pick up, because I was so ready for her to go to school. I know it sounds awful, but we've just had a really challenging time the last week and a half, and you can hear from my voice, I'm really run down. I need a mum break, right? So I'm gonna do a bit of work from home this morning, and then I think I'm gonna have a swim by myself in the pool and be nice and relaxed with no kids splashing around me. I hope you can find some time today to take some time out for you and have a nice cuppa or whatever it is that relaxes you. Don't forget our other webinars on tomorrow night at 7:30. So if you weren't able to get on yesterday, jump on that. We're thinking about running another daytime one next week. So we didn't, when I booked it, I actually didn't realize that school wasn't back yet. So that is my bad. So we will run another daytime one next week. But look, if you register for the Thursday night one and then can't get on it, you will get the recording. So if you want to watch a recording at another time that suits you better, then totally do that. Sorry, I just want to read these comments. Yeah, social stories and pictures of what they're going to expect is so important. My son was at Aspect. We had these that were fabulous. Now at 15, it's a whole different list of strategies. Yeah. Thanks, Rachel. You too. Mum relaxed day. Yeah. I know, I really do need that, but sometimes I do feel like I've got to catch up on some stuff too. My house literally looks like a cyclone has hit it. So do some work, clean the house, have a swim. That's my plan today. All right, mamas, thanks for joining me. Thanks for your beautiful comments, and I hope all your kiddies go well, whether they're back today, tomorrow, or next week. I know there's some in Perth and everywhere that aren't back yet, but appreciate you guys, and thank you for all contributing so much in this group. We really appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.